Okay, hey y'all. Today I'm going to talk about what I read this morning when I was reading the Bible. It was actually in Genesis 39 about Joseph. Joseph literally went through some stuff. Like, his brothers were jealous of him. His family sold him into slavery. And the master that he was sold into slavery to had a wife, but the way who Joseph was, and like the kind of like really just the blessing that God had on Joseph during this trial that he was going through, the blessing was on him. Like, God was with Joseph this whole time. And so, long story short, the master ended up allowing Joseph to be over everything, gave him everything that he owned, on a level of like had him steward over everything that he owned. But the master had a wife, and the wife had been lusting over Joseph, and tried to like throw herself onto him. But he was like, no, like I would literally be going against the master after he's given me the authority over all of his stuff, and I'll be going against sinning against God. Like, I'm not doing that. One day she still tried it again, tried to throw herself on him. He ended up running out. Well, a piece of his garment was left beside her, and so she just used it and basically screamed rape, because Joseph did not want her. So then she went to she told her husband. She waited till her husband got home and showed him the piece of Joseph's garment and said, that he tried to rape me and this and that, lied on him. So then the master threw Joseph in prison. Well, God ended up giving Joseph this gift to interpret dreams. So there was 2 prisoners in there along with Joseph, and they were able to they both woke up one day, both had dreams, and Joseph interpreted both of those dreams for them, and literally the meaning of the dream actually fell through. Not fell through, it actually happened, like in real life. It ended up happening. So he interpreted what Joseph interpreted of both of those prisoners' dream came true. One of the prisoners ended up dying, and the other prisoner actually ended up getting free. And Joseph told him to, remember me, tell the, I think it's not the guard, but might be the guard or the ward. Just let him know that, I told him that dream. Well, he never did let him know. The prisoner didn't. He forgot all about Joseph and what Joseph done for him. Then later on, their king or something ended up having a dream. Well, they have actual magicians, and the magicians still couldn't tell the king what that dream meant. But somehow he was in front of that prisoner. Once that was a prisoner that was freed, and he was like, oh yeah, actually Joseph, he told me my dream, and it actually came true. He told me what my dream meant, and it actually came true. Maybe he can tell you. So then the king sent for Joseph, and Joseph came, and the king told him his dream. And so he said, so tell me, what does it mean? And Joseph told him, it's not me that can do that, it's God that can do that. He made sure he acknowledged that it's God that has given me this gift to even interpret your dream. So he told him, and it was very true. And the king actually ended up freeing Joseph, giving him everything. 13 years later, Joseph had kids. He gave him his daughter. The king gave him his daughter. So he had whole new life. And then God had also told that king, because in his dream it was basically that God told him that you're going to have 7 years of abundance, and then you're going to have 7 years of famine. But the king had put Joseph in charge, and So the whole 7 years of abundance, like, Joseph was like getting everything together because he knew the famine was coming. So he was getting everything, getting as much harvest as he can, like everything was, and he was storing it up. And he was storing it up, like God had blessed him with so much abundance. He was storing it up. He lost count, like he couldn't even measure it. It was immeasurable. So it was without measure. So he kept storing it up, and when that famine came, and there's so many lands that didn't have the resources. Like when famine came, it hit hard, and they all came to Joseph in Egypt, and he sold all of the harvest to them. So I mean, just he was blessed beyond measures, even though he went through so much. Even though they were doing stuff to the things that was working for for Joseph's bad, God turned it around and made it for his good in front of everybody. And Joseph, all he had to do was just stay faithful, and he did. And then make sure he let him know that this was God that did this. It was not me. I don't have the power. God worked something through me. He gave me this blessing to even interpret the dream, to even know what was going on. What was going to happen. And that was a beautiful thing, and that really spoke to me, because things are going to happen. There are going to be trials. There's going to be things that happen that are just, it's gonna happen that may bring you down, and you have every right to just, be down and lose hope and lose faith. But if you keep your faith and know that God is with you, he will show out and use you. And man, that story was just so beautiful. It was just so beautiful. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen in my financial circumstances. Like, I feel like financial freedom is on the way. Like, it's on the way. It's on the way. All right, thank y'all.